Green light, give it all you can.
What the heck? Oh my goodness. I've been actually on it too. Welcome everybody. This is ridiculous. Man, I've been so hyped up. Oh my god. Okay, well, welcome now. Thank you for... I don't know why my mic just all of a sudden decided not to exist in Streamlabs temporarily. Yes, thank you, Enzo. I appreciate it. That was... yeah. But hopefully okay, well, now I guess I'll have to restart the commentary. So welcome, everyone, to the Sunday Round 7 here. Fall GT3 Championship here at Zandvoort. Windows update? Yeah, actually, that could be. That sucks. I wish people had said that sooner, and I wish I had noticed. If I was a good streamer, I would have, but I didn't. We're here now in qualifying. Currently, TJ Washed leading the field. Yes, yes, thank you, Secom. Appreciate it, I know. Absolutely, yeah, that was... whoops. I know, but you weren't the only one here. No, Mr. I think you're right, actually. I did have a Windows update last night, and I guess it made my microphone change names or something, which is very fun. But we see... man, I even did a full onboard commentary lap, too. That sucks. Well, there's plenty more to go. Luckily. Exactly. Thank you. It's very unlike me to be quiet. But we do have... oh, man, I gotta go over everything that I've already went over, and I don't even know what I went over. We got 35 drivers on the grid here tonight. And we have a Bentley on the grid. That was one thing I wanted to point out earlier. Provolone is going to be on a flyer right now, coming through Shivelock and doing... ooh, the front end going to be trying its best there to grip up. Front end, or the front tires, are going to be screaming by the end of the sector, getting onto the gravel just a little bit. And that front end rotating, big save there from Provolone. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. The rear end struggling for grip there. The Porsche's rear end extremely heavy. We see now coming through the back chicane, or hairpin, excuse me. Going to be coming towards the chicane here. Very easy to overshoot this one, as it's a blind crest over the hill here, coming into the braking zone. If you go too deep, you will go straight into the gravel. Or if you catch any of those curbs on the inside there, that is going to be a lap over for you, as it will send you approximately to the stratosphere. And now, coming through Kumo, we'll see Provolone on a fairly decent lap so far, 3/10 up and improving. He'll be coming across the line for that pole position for right now. Spool Acony is going to be in that pole, or is going to be dropped down to second position as a result. TJ Washed here, currently not quite on a flyer lap. I think he's on a lap just preparing. Aaron Kuhn looking like he has a decent... yeah, true. No, but also, this is one of my favorite tracks, actually. Zandvoort. It's a 2.6 mile circuit located in the dunes of Zandvoort in the Netherlands near the North Sea. It's a very, very fun track. Extremely tight and windy. Vulcan, absolute legend. Thank you very much for the rating party. Hope you had a very great stream tonight. And welcome everyone that is now here. Whelp Cakes, Vulcan, everyone, thank you very much. We are now just chilling on Zandvoort right now in the qualifying session, coming to an end here of the split 2 drivers. It's going great, except for the fact that I forgot to... or my mic decided to change its name at the beginning of the stream, and I didn't have it on for the first 17 minutes. But here we are. It's on now. Jason Provolone is going to be coming across the line to improve 136.4, 135.9. There we are. We should be seeing low 135s here by the end of the session. Lacany in the pits, though, is going to be done. TJ Washed, though, on a good improvement right now. 0.8 down, though, has a long way to go. We'll see if he can manage anything just yet. has a good amount of the lap left. We'll hop on board with him here as he comes through the chicane. Actually, there isn't even much lap in general on this track. It's 130. So now, going to be getting ready to come through Kumo. Decent rotation, front end. Could have been maybe a little earlier on the throttle there. The front end gripped up very nicely. Still a good improvement nonetheless. Accelerating flat out onto the straight here, up into 5th gear. Going to be pushing across the line for a good improvement. 2/10 off of the pole position there. Improving over spool. Not quite getting there to the end. So we see the split 2 drivers are going to be coming into the pits now. Lateral G, everyone, welcome. Oh wait, Lateral G's already been here, excuse me. But we will see now the split 1 drivers getting ready to come out on track, which means we're going to see a Bentley out on track here very soon. Sophie, absolute legend, driving that Bentley tonight. Kevin Yu finishing up his lap, though. In the meantime, currently sitting in P14 and stays there, I think. Ooh, what you ordering? What you gonna order, Vulcan? Eric Gakassian as well on a flyer. 2/10 up. Still a bit to go. Ruffles, welcome. Oh, I'm not gonna. Billy Cheesesteak sub. All right. That sounds pretty good. Yes, this quali does have 2 splits. We have the split 2 drivers currently coming to an end right now, and the split 1 drivers are going to be out on track. We see the 53 car leading the way. Let's see, where is that? That's going to be Ricardo Rivera coming across the final corner onto the start-finish straight. We'll jump on board with him as he goes flying into Tarzan here. Going to be braking as late as he can, trying to get that front end to grip up. Down into 1st gear. Great rotation on that. Just about clipping that curb, but not quite. If you clip that curb, it will unsettle the car. Now, coming into the 2nd hairpin chicane thing. I don't know what you call this. It's banked turn, though. You can carry a lot of speed through there, but not as much as you think. On the throttle, nice and early, though, as the grip favors you on the exit. And now, going to be coming through the curvy section here up to Scheivlock, where the front end, the front left, is going to be starting to hurt a little bit now. Bit of a correction through Scheivlock. Could have carried a bit more speed. It's not quite the greatest entry, but nonetheless, very nice into the sector after that, or the turns after that. Decent rotation. Having to make a little bit of a correction, though. The Honda looking fairly strong here, at least from the free practice session earlier that we were seeing. I think we saw quite a few Hondas in that. And now going to be coming into the chicane. Very easy to overshoot. Oh, and he does a little bit, actually. Locks up slightly. I think that will hamper his time just a little bit. But now coming through Kumo and then getting ready to come on to the start-finish straight through the final quarter here. Will be rounding that nice rotation, coming across the line. Where will this put Ricardo Rivera? Not enough for pole position. Puts him down a little bit. Jacob Padberg, though, quickly responding to that 4 pole position, takes it from Provolone. Brian Faluna as well. We'll see other drivers now coming across the line. I'm Not Jimmy. Other drivers as well. I'm Not Jimmy jumping up into P9. Ricardo Rivera down in P5 now. Tyler Marlowe in P2. Other drivers, though, still on good improvements. We see Jarek Snyder on a good improvement of this lap currently. Other drivers yet to cross the line. I think the 81 car here, Bronson Turner. We'll stick with him for now as he comes through Kumo. Which hairpin? That's, Oh, you're talking, okay, the banked hairpin. Hugenhorst? I can't pronounce that. I don't know how to speak Dutch. There's a reason I'm skipping the bocht in the turns. You got it in one. Well, okay. Decent lap, though, from Bronson Turner as we were following along. Put him up in a P10. Going to be trying to get an improvement on that. We see pole times improving. Brian Faluna is going to come up and storm to the pole position. Well, he already had pole position into the 134s. 134.7. Massive improvement. We'll see Jacob Padberg as well improving on his lap. Let's see other drivers here. Let's see. Ricardo Rivera, who we were along with for the first lap, still in P5. Just call it the left. Yes, that's the plan. The banked left-hander. Very distinct. Now Schlieder here on a good improvement. Going to be coming through the penultimate corner of Kumo. See here the Porsche, as we saw earlier, very wily on the rear end. Easy to get that car to rotate too much. Coming across the line there, up into P10 or up into P6 goes Niall. See if Niall has anything more as he goes into Tarzan here. Stick with him for the first half of the lap. And I haven't looked at that Bentley since I've mentioned it. Oh, big error there from Niall Schlieder. Unfortunate. That's going to put an end to his lap. And we will now jump on. Where's the Bentley? Where's the Bentley? Bentley's not... Oh, the Bentley's now coming out on track. Has yet to set a time. Nonetheless, though, we'll have time to set a time. Gage Gonzalez yet to set a time here as well. Currently down in P33. We'll see where they end up. On a decent lap right now. Oh, except that. That looked like a bit of a handful right there. The Honda, who I would expect to be a very fast car on this track, looking like it's struggling in the hands of these Puerto Rico E-Racing Club members. Must not be their favorite track, but nonetheless, I'm just saying that obviously they're very talented drivers. And now into the penultimate corner here. Onto the throttle nice and early. Flat out the rest of the way. Had to lift just slightly. That's going to hamper the time. This probably will not be a pole position lap, I would imagine, from Gage Gonzalez. But where is it going to put him? Puts him up into 6th, right behind his teammate, Ricardo Rivera. Honda's all in a line here. Tyler Marlowe in the Audi, splitting the pack, though, of the rest of these Hondas. Other drivers, not too much improvements going on right now. Ollie Raza on a decent improvement. Well, there goes that improvement. Gage Gonzalez is going to be trying as well. Jose, the world doesn't revolve around you, mate. But also, welcome to the stream. That gives you an excuse to stay in the stream. Got some love for Eric in chat. Eric down here in P26 right now. Not a bad qualifying from him, considering. Guys, we're late. That's what you get for being late. No, not really. I'm sure a couple of these drivers would like to restart qualifying as well. I think Gage Gonzalez might be one of them, but he currently is going to be challenging for good improvement on his lap. Yeah, Brian Faluna, absolutely rapid. I mean, Jacob Padberg not too far off the pace. But that BMW looking strong here tonight. Gage Gonzalez will be coming across the line, currently sitting in P6. Will be staying in P6. Did improve on the time. Not enough, though. Get ahead of Ricardo Rivera. Ricardo Rivera as well on an improvement, though. I'm Not Jimmy here. Is going to be coming across the line to improve a couple positions as well there. Up in a P11. Got Jet Engelman in the Ferrari. You don't like Zandvoort? Zandvoort's great. Mark, welcome. Hope you're having a great night. I hope everyone as well, like I say, is having a great night tonight. Had a rough start to the stream, but that's okay. We got it going right now, and that's all that matters. 15 seconds left in qualifying here before we get into our doubleheader here tonight. Well, are you being facetious? Because this track is not necessarily known for its overtaking opportunities. Oh, nice. Got it stopped. You're being serious? I thought I was under the impression this track is like damn near impossible to overtake on. Everyone hates this track. I love this track. This track is fun. You gotta manage the front left tire. It's all about managing on this track. It's a very strategic track. We'll stick here with Niall Schlieder, actually, as he's on a decent improvement. Currently, 4/10 off from the position ahead, Gage Gonzalez. That Porsche not looking too strong here tonight. As we see, though, is a very reliant, or the back end in that Porsche just struggles to grip up here. Coming into the chicane now in the back. Very nice, actually. Carrying a good bit of speed there. Had to correct just slightly on the throttle, though, nice and early. Izumi coming through the penultimate corner here of Kumo. Oh, big, massive moment of oversteer there, and Niall Schlieder is not going to be improving. P7 is going to be the position for Niall Schlieder at best. Dan Tizarro, still the only driver yet to come across the line with a decent improvement. Currently sitting in P19, rounding the final quarter onto the start-finish straight here. Has to improve by only a couple hundredths, and that's what he's doing. He 100th up, and he does not get in front of... No, he did get in front of Jarek Snyder. Wow. That was a big impact.
Alright, conditions are wet. We have some
Alrighty.
slippery curves, and also watch out for your braking distance.
Wet Zandvoort, everyone. This is going to be a wet Zandvoort. I called it at the beginning that it was going to be sunny, so of course it is raining. The weatherman Mike coming in clutch as always. Yes, it is a very moist track. We'll see here. 30 minutes on the clock. It looks like the rain will be subsiding, though. Track quite warm, but that will be a wet track. So we'll see, though, how long it takes for that track to dry up. It'd be very interesting indeed. Do a quick grin. Yes, it is turning into Mudvort. We'll see, though, if these drivers can manage to keep it on the track. Trying to get a good camera angle. There we go. So, pole position here taken by Brian Faluna in that BMW. Absolute stonker of a lap time. Getting that setup nailed properly. That BMW, actually like the only BMW in the top 23. Making that look easy. Jacob Padberg sitting in P2 in that Honda. We got Tyler Marlowe in the number 3 Audi behind him, sitting in P3. Ollie Raza is going to be in P4, lining up next to him. Ricardo Rivera will be in P5. And Gage Gonzalez, his teammate, lining up next to him as well. Niall Schlieder, unfortunately, having a bit of an error there at the end of that session. Hydrate and okay, we can do this. We can do this. But continue. Okay, Provolone will be starting in P8 in that Porsche. Then we have TJ Washed starting in P9. I'm Not Jimmy in P10. Quinn Smith starting in P11. Not the greatest qualifying from Quinn Smith in that 999 Lexus. We have Ross Fallon is going to be starting in P12. Casey Schutte in P13. Bronson Turner in P14. We have Dalton Oxborough in P15. Spool Lackney in P16. Then we have Sophie Jones in the big old Bentley starting in P17. Dan Tizarro is going to be starting in P18 in that 900 BMW. And then we have Jarek Snyder in P19. And we have Christopher Tones in P20. That 609 Aston Martin. You see Kenneth Smith in P21. Jet Engelman in P22 in that 747 Ferrari. We have DeMarcus Rogers in P23 in the 47 Honda. Aaron Kuhn in P24. Stephen Tomzik in P25. Chris Rise in P26. Eric Gakassian starting in P27. his teammate Andy Oak. Starting next to him in P28, Professor Carnotis. Down in P29, Ricardo Sapien. P30, Kevin Yu. P31, we have Guy Smelly in P32, and George Elmer in the Nissan, bringing up the rear in P33. 33 cars on the grid tonight. Cars are going to be getting underway now, as we will see all these cars starting up. This will be a very, let's see here. There we go. Good camera angle where we can see all these drivers taking off. The cars driving into the mist here at Zandvoort. Getting ready to race. And we have a hydrate and onboard laps. Okay, now it's time to catch up with chat. Okay, hydrate, check. Member chat, make sure you guys hydrate. Jose reminding us of that. And is the weather? Yes, the weather is random in the league. But the rookie league is not random. That is set to sunny conditions only, as it's just a little bit easier in the rookie late races. Back of the pack. Okay, you want to see an onboard from back of the pack? That can work. And Crispy also wanting an onboard lap from Sapien. That can do. Okay. I will not be doing the onboard laps here in the first lap, as there will be plenty of information to digest for right now. Do an onboard lap here very soon, though. Jose wanting a full onboard as well. Everyone wanting a full onboard lap. Tez. Who's Tez? What do you mean by Tez? Oh, Dan Tazaro. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Duh. Your homie. Yeah, yes, you did start an onboard train. I have a lot of onboard laps to do now. But we will do them. I promise. We'll get through them. And they will be great. I'll know pretty much every corner name by the end of this, at this rate. No, I won't, now that I'm looking at the corner names again. Definitely will not be. The drivers now will be coming across the penultimate corner here of Kumo, as we all line up 2x2 Noah's Ark formation here. The drivers still the back of the pack, going to be gaining and, you know, getting close. Everyone's going to be getting close, bunching the pack up. 2x2 formation here. Wet start here on the grid. We'll see how these cars end up. And I should probably start, yep, as we see Jacob Padberg leading the way. We're green here at Zandvoort. Great start from Brian Faluna. Oh, wait, Brian Faluna. Why was Brian Faluna so far in the front there? Jacob Padberg, amazing start from him. Tyler Marlowe sleeping a little bit. Down the inside, though, onto Ali Raza. You'll see the two Puerto Rico e-racing cars as well, keeping it clean with each other. Niall Schlieder. Oh, and we see Marlowe off into the wall. Massive moment from Tyler Marlowe. Bit further up, we see Padberg now leading the pack. We see the, Brian Faluna, excuse me, leading the pack. Padberg falling behind after that. Ali Raza taking that third position. And we see Ricardo Rivera making up to fourth. Gage Gonzalez in fifth here. I don't know why it says they're in like 32nd. The laps are not. Man forgot to turn up the TC. Yeah, no, that is true. We'll see other drivers. We see another yellow flag on track. Bit further down, Casey Schutte. They're off in Scheivlach. Excuse me. Other drivers, though, making it through. Is this everyone teetering their way through side-by-side action there? I think that is from DeMarcus Rogers and Oxborough. Oxborough round the outside and DeMarcus on the inside. We'll see here. Can DeMarcus be late enough on the brakes in this next corner? I don't think so. That McLaren very solid in the wet as well. DeMarcus Rogers in the silver division and Oxborough in the split one. So DeMarcus Rogers might not be wanting to race him just for the sake of you know, there's 20 minutes or 28 minutes left to go. Plenty of time. Don't need to get caught up in an incident. But now we are rounding it out here. Now we can start doing those onboard laps. So the first onboard lap we had was on the rear. I think you wanted the last place driver. So Casey Schutte. Okay, well actually we'll do Kevin Yu because he's well, let's do Chronotis. I like Chronotis. So now coming through the start-finish straight, right on the slipstream of Eric Kakasi and having a look down the inside. We'll see if he can go late enough on the brakes. He backs out early though, lifts off the throttle, tucks in behind into Tarzan, not wanting to do anything too bold. We'll see though if these drivers will maybe start to take the outside line in that Tarzan corner, the outside line being a lot better in the wet. You can carry the speed through sort of the karting line. And now we see big error there from Eric Kakasi and running wide. That's going to give Professor Chronotis the opportunity to slip down the inside here. Going to be darting all the way up through these sectors side by side, going to Scheivlock. This is not the corner you necessarily want to go side by side on, and Eric Kakasian does tuck in behind. Now through Scheivlock we go. Tomzik is going to be the Aston Martin ahead here. Steven Tomzik will be defending, I would imagine, quite hard, but also wanting to have an attack there on Andy Oak up ahead. But Eric Kakasian there in the mirrors is going to be coming back. Gap left wide open from Chronotis. Chronotis is going to be running a bit wide here. Eric Kakasian, though, can't quite get that job done. Coming into the back sector now. As we get ready to dive into the hairpin here. Very easy to overshoot, as I said before, especially in these wet conditions. Downshifting very early, as you can see there, just taking it really easy. We see a car in the gravel. I think that's Quinn Smith. Yeah, that is the Lexus there, of the 999 Lexus of Quinn Smith. And Chronotis closing up massively there in the penultimate corner. But all these drivers are going to have to be a little patient as having to lift off massively. Chronotis, though, going to try to be finding a way around the outside. Eric Kakasian is going to be trying to do something here as well. We see drivers are going to be going 3 wide at Zandvoort. This is not the track you see 3 wide often. And Eric Kakasian is off into the barrier. Luckily, Kevin Yu, I think that was, getting out of the way and avoiding that. Eric Kakasian, very unfortunate for him. Just a bit of a moment on that start-finish straight. A little bit of a case of 3 doesn't go into 1. Quinn Smith here is going to be having looked at by Guy Smelly. Guy Smelly trying to take the long way around. Can he carry that momentum onto the marbles? Not quite. Quinn Smith will manage to hold that now and looks ahead to Eric Kakasian, who just had a big moment on that start-finish straight and probably picked up a little bit of damage. Two Lost Welcome is doing great. Oh, we see another yellow flag. Chris Rye is off. Not sure what happened there, unfortunately. We'll see up a bit further, though. Brian Faluna. Oh, a little bit of contact almost, it looked like there, from Jacob Padberg and Brian Faluna. These two pushing each other along in these wet conditions. This race so far extremely epic. Battles all across the field, so much so that I can't even keep an eye on all of them. We see more yellow flags. Andy Oak, Eric Kakasian's teammate, and Steven Tomzik, I think, was caught up in a little bit of an incident. Ricardo Rivera here pushing along to the McLaren of Aaron Kuhn. We'll see if he wants to make a move. I'm gonna be setting up now to go onto the start-finish straight. Wide goes Aaron Kuhn. That's gonna make an easy overtake for Ricardo Rivera, and that Puerto Rico E-Racing Club has the inside line for turn 1. Probably will get the overtake done before the end of the straight. Let's see, as we come into Tarzan here, gonna have to set it late on the brakes. And Ricardo Rivera is going to have that apex. We'll see if the McLaren can carry the speed around the outside, but not quite. Don't forget the onboards. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Who's next? It was to Dan. Wait, no. Because it was Enzo. Enzo wanted... Oh my. No, wait. I'm confused. Okay, Enzo I did. Right. Then, Crispy. Crispy wants Sapien. Okay, Sapien. Got it. Yes. We're catching up. Alrighty. we'll get an onboard lap from Sapien here, whereas he's sitting down in P22, about a second and a half away from the pack in front. And on the grass, this is not going to be the most, not the greatest. Oh, and that traction control kicking in massively. I'm not sure actually if that was traction control or wheel spin. It sounded like the engine was cutting out. Ooh, yes, it is. Ricardo Sapien with a very high traction, lowered it right there down to TC5 we saw. And lowering the ABS as well, a bit bold. So we'll see if that works out for him. Gonna be coming into the final sector now. Ooh, big moment. Yeah, that traction control being very on the knife's edge for him. If he goes up one, the engine just cuts out, and he seems like on TC5 it's almost not enough. Yes, then Tez, yes. Thank you. And now coming across the line, but we'll keep going into Tarzan here. Braking very early, little deep. On the throttle though, nice and early, gonna carry that speed. Last lap, Ricardo Sapien lapping on a 146.1 with that error. We see, went into the banked left-hander, that's what we've decided to call it, that's right. At traction control once again up into 6, kicking in massively. So Ricardo Sapien having to be very on with that traction control, constantly changing it into shive lock. Down 2 gears and into Masters. Now we'll see down to 3rd, does stick in it, very wide apex, and that is basically a full lap at this point. We'll jump back with him. Well, we'll stick with him. We'll stick with Sapien. It's fine. Now we won't, because we have a yellow flag from Dan Tesaro. Oh no, big one! We see the Ferrari getting caught up with Jet Engelmann. What has happened here? Dan Tesaro getting involved in an incident, it looks like here. We see side-by-side action. Jason Provolone up ahead. I'm not sure that is the Honda. There's contact with Dan Tesaro and the Honda. That is the 226. That car is Guy Smelly. And the Ferrari, unfortunately, of Jet Engelmann getting tangled up with that as well. Dan Tesaro now just rejoining the track. Got some love for Sophie in chat. Sophie, where is she at in that? Oh, wow. She's all the way up into P12 right now in that big old Bentley, chasing down Jason Provolone currently. We'll stick with her, actually, for a lap. Oh, a bit wide, though, onto the grass. We see that right-hand drive Bentley. Trying to see where the traction control stuff is. I don't think the Bentley has that on display necessarily. ABS on 4. Yeah, okay, I'm not sure. Does Bentley have traction control? We will get a Tez on board, yes. No, we will get one in a minute. Tez he's in the pits right now. So when he comes out of the pits, we'll do an onboard with him. As it is weird to drive on the right-hand side. Ooh, big moment of oversteer, though. The track is drying out, it looks like. We'll see if Dan Tesaro is going to go on to dries. I wonder if these drivers did start on wets or dries. The lap times actually, oh wow, very deep goes Jason Provolone onto the gravel, and that's going to give Sophie the chance to get by. Very nice overtake up into P11, and also Ricardo Rivera is going to get by. Jason Provolone caught sleeping a little bit, braking a little too late, unfortunately. I think everyone started on dries. Looking at the lap times, we're seeing 142s. Actually, that's a wet lap time. I think they started on wets. We see Ricardo Rivera with a yellow flag actually into the pits. I think he is going to be trying to switch tires now. But now we can see Dan Tesaro, I think, is going to be coming out of the pits. We'll stick with him. I would imagine he went on to dry tires. Coming into T1 here of Tarzan. Is going to be starting this lap. And coming up the hill here into the right-hander, followed up by the banked left-hander, where after this it will be all flat out, all the way to Shivelock. Wiggly, windy section. Yeah, Mike, I think you're right. I think that they did start on wets. I think we'll see these drivers, every driver having to make a mandatory pit stop at some point. 18 minutes left in the race. We see blue flags ahead. Dalton, Oxborough, Dan Tazaro getting a little bit of a oversteer there through Shivlock. Pretty under control though through the next sector of through the next corner of Masters. Has Lackney approaching on his rear. It's a P16 Honda. And not quite looking behind right now. Does run wide, though. Is going to let these two cars by of DeMarcus Rogers and Spool Lackney. So, I don't know if these guys are on wets or dries. If so, DeMarcus... I just don't know. We'll see these. I haven't seen Brian Faluna come into the pits yet. We'll take a look at the weather. It's sunny. It's sunny as all could be. There is no more rain coming for the rest of this session. Tyler Marlowe is in the pits now. And we see Sophie Jones as well in the pits. Tyler Marlowe's Audi not looking that healthy. The mandatory pit requirements are just to be lifted. You gotta you make a full stop, be lifted up off of your jacks, and put back down. That is all they need to do. So we'll see if the drivers do sit much longer than that. I would imagine they are taking tires or repairing damage. Man, Jacob Padberg, though, has stuck with... I know we haven't had too much attention on the back pack, or the front pack, as we've had a lot of onboards to do, which is great. I love it. Keep the onboards coming, guys. Yes, that poor Ferrari. Yes. Jet Engelman becoming a victim of... All right, we got another onboard lap. Sounds good. Yes, we do. We have a very... I mean, it's not the fullest grid tonight. We got 32 cars on grid. You want a Padberg one? Oh, I got you. All right. Well, now is the perfect time, actually, as he will be rounding the final corner, and he's going to have a good run. Has to lift off the throttle, though. And it's going to tuck into the slipstream. Oh, into the pits. Never mind. All right, we'll come back to Padberg. So, coming into the pits at 16 minutes left in the track. Nause Schlieder coming into the pits as well. I'm Not Jimmy staying out for right now. That's all right. We'll get the lap. We'll get it. We'll get them coming out of the pits. So we should see Jacob Padberg here. He's stopped. We'll stick with him right now in the pit stop phase, in fact. I know it's not the most exciting content, but it does look like at the amount of time he is stationary, I'm pretty sure he is going to be taking tires. So they must have started on wets, and they are going to be moving over to dries. Last lap, Jacob Padberg lapping at a 1:48. We see Gage Gonzalez, who has not made their pit stop, lapping at a 1:41. So he may have started on dries. Jacob Padberg, oh, he's coming out. And did he overtake? Brian Faluna with a stop-go 30. Our race leader gets overtaken coming out of the pits by Jacob Padberg and gets a stop-go 30. I would imagine that he just had a little bit more damage. I'm not sure. But I don't know. Bentley with a stop-go 30 as well? Oh, no. Yeah, you are correct there. Sophie speeding in the pits. And very, very safe entrance into the pits this time, as you can see. Steven Tomzik is going to be... he's yet to pit. Brian Faluna making a move on him there, but has to come in anyways for that stop-go 30. That's going to be very unfortunate for Brian Faluna. That's never what you want to see. Ricardo Rivera down the field a little bit here, chasing down Bronson Turner. That McLaren looking quite solid on this track. The Honda is fast, but it's an absolute animal. And actually, currently our race leader, Gage Gonzalez, I think we'll see coming in. He's lapping at a 1:42 last lap. And the track conditions are pretty much going to be fast at this point. Yellow flag from Steven Tomczyk. That's him entering the pits. Okay. Stop go 30s for Jones. Stop go 30. Oh, man. Everyone's speeding in the pits. Come on, guys. Okay, we do need to do an onboard, though, of Padberg. So, we'll do this. As we have coming through the not so straight, going into Shivlock. Very nice. Honda wanting to step out all the time, as we've seen. Nice little short shift to get the traction, or getting caught up in that dirty air. I'm not sure. Coming into Masters, we see George Elmer getting out of the way very nicely. Padberg getting by easily. And then coming into turn 9. Followed up by turn 10 here. Big drift. That Honda on the absolute limit of grip. Nemesis, don't say anything. Please, thank you. I haven't had, I worked today, so I couldn't, I didn't have time to watch it. But thank you for letting me know that. Just no spoilers for the F1 race, guys. Thank you. Much appreciated. Bronson Turner, I know we're on that onboard lap, but I want to see, though, Bronson Turner here is going to be fighting with Ricardo Rivera, actually. No, don't worry about it. I know. I love Formula One, like, so. He did almost get canceled. Oh, man, Jose. Did you check Twitter after you? Oh, no. Mark. Did George Russell murder? No, don't answer that. No one answer that. I don't want any spoilers. I haven't even seen the start yet, so. Jacob Padberg actually setting last lap was the fastest lap. 1:41.0 from him, so the lap time's going down quite a bit now as the track conditions improve. We'll see the track condition currently greasy. A little slick out there, but these drivers making the best of it nonetheless. Gage Gonzalez is in the pits as well. He is yet to pit, that's why. Duh. I'm Not Jimmy will take race leader if he decides not to go in the pits as well. He does decide to go in the pits. Quinn Smith, now our honorary race leader. Latifi got P1. Oh, shit. Excuse me, but wow. Fair enough. Ferrari went to Plan Z. They went to Plan Z in qualifying. So, no, no more talking about F1. We're done. We're done talking about F1 for right now. 10 more minutes left to go in this race. We see the 888 car of Jacob Padberg, who will be our race leader, but Quinn Smith, the 999 Lexus, will be taking it for right now. Padberg, though, 5 seconds behind him. Lapping 1:41.3 from Quinn Smith, and then a 1:39.4 from Jacob Padberg. So, Jacob Padberg absolutely flying here. Quinn Smith, I would imagine he did start on dries. But these drivers seeming to get the best of these greasy conditions. I'm Not Jimmy coming out of the pits now. We'll see where he ends up. Gets overtaken by TJ Washed there. And is going to come out in front of Fallon. So not the worst pit stop, I think. That's going to be P7 for I'm Not Jimmy, and that will hold up. All the drivers in front of him have made their pit stop. So we can take a look here, actually, except for Quinn Smith. Quinn Smith, though, will or should come out ahead of I'm Not Jimmy. I think. Maybe not. Quinn Smith. Not the greatest race from him. Someone you expect to see leading, but you'd also would expect not to see a 1 next to his name at this stage of the race. Well, that's okay. Everyone has their tracks, and everyone has their races. Down a bit further, we see DeMarcus Rogers attacking onto Kevin Yu, though. We'll see into Tarzan. Can he make anything happen? Not quite. And the rest of the lap, very difficult to overtake on. Not too many opportunities. Jose, who wants to work tomorrow? I don't want to work tomorrow either, but I am so busy. And I know, oh, he's busy. No, and I don't mean it like that. But, yeah. Sophie with another stop go 30 and yet to pit. Man, Sophie Bentley's strategy tonight, not quite what you would describe as optimal. Pull up the relatives again, as those are more relevant. We see lap traffic there of George Elmer getting out of the way. Dalton Oxborough battling with his teammate, though, of Aaron Kuhn. Let's jump on board with him here as he rounds the final corner onto the start-finish straight. Has to lift off, though, in that dirty air. And is going to have a decent run. We see cars going to the pits there. That's Sophie Jones and the Bentley. Unfortunately, I don't think you can take your stop go 30 while you take your pit stop, so Sophie Jones is going to have to make another pit stop after this. I know, right, Jose? You're like, where did all my money go? Oh yeah, that's right, I spent it on things that I enjoy. Why is his windshield wipers on? Dalton, turn your windshield wipers off. I'm gonna go off board with you, because it bothers me. Clearly does not have his windshield wipers on automatic, as he has not gotten the memo that they're on. And they're on high, too. It's like when you see the guy in front of you in traffic that has their rear window windshield wiper on and their front one on in like high speed, and it's just sprinkling. Oh, man. That's one of the things that I'm very... Oh, Brian Faluna getting through. Actually, I think on Guy Smelly. Or no, it's Christopher Tones, that is. In the 609 Aston Martin. Chrono is basically last to P16. Wow, you're right. And he has made his pit stop, and he still has Kenneth Smith up the field and pushing. Jet Engelman behind him. We see Sophie Jones. Wait, why does Sophie Jones have another stop go 30? Oh, because she hasn't taken it yet. Okay, that's why. Brian Faluna here is going to be trying to make a move onto Sapien, onto the grass even. Will be trying to carry that speed. Jet Engelman is holding this pack up just a little bit. Going to be looking down the inside, late on the brakes, sending it onto Ricardo Sapien. Both of the drivers giving each other plenty of space, and that will lead Brian Faluna the opportunity, but also Ricardo Sapien now under threat from the car of Kenneth Tones, or Christopher Tones, excuse me. Is going to be trying to take the long way around of turn 3, but isn't going to make anything of it. Brian Faluna pressuring that damaged Ferrari. Ferrari not looking like it's in the best condition. Tucks to the outside through Schleivlock. We see too wide. Very difficult to go too wide through that corner. Both of the drivers, though, showing each other plenty of respect. Running wide goes Faluna, but gets the overtake done nonetheless. And that will give Faluna the clear air to pull ahead. Ricardo Sapien getting dove onto by Christopher Tones, but manages to hold off for right now. Ricardo Sapien doing a good job defending. Christopher Tones also doing a good job of attacking. On that curb, though, that's going to hinder his progress just a little bit. Jacob Padberg is our current race leader. And we did see Quinn Smith actually get overtaken by Jacob Padberg, so Quinn Smith still needs to pit. And at this point, I think I'm not Jimmy. I think he will be coming out in front of Provolone at this rate, down in P11 or P10. We'll see when he does make that pit stop, but he has a ways to go through this field. Quinn Smith's strategy not quite paying off for him this race, unfortunately. That battle for P18, though, is still going on. Ricardo Sapien on Jet Engelman and Christopher Tones trying as well. I don't see why you'd need a splash. It's a 30-minute race. I would any driver I think you want to spend the least amount of time in the pits possible, obviously. But I guess you could try telling that to Sophie Jones, who's been in the pits for a while now, and has to be for a while as well. Very unfortunate. Someone's got to have a bad race, though. Not everyone can't have a good race. Just sucks when it's you. Zandvoort's an amazing track, Ando. This track is awesome. It is an extremely challenging track where it's basically chicanes and hairpins. There's no straights whatsoever except for the start-finish straight, which is a grand total of 2 seconds. But here we see some side-by-side action, though. Ricardo Sapien tucking on the inside of Jet Engelman, and that car of Christopher Tones not knowing what to do, trying to find a way around. And actually, Ricardo Sapien backs out, but late on the, or a little bit too late on the brakes for Jet Engelman. We'll see if that gives Sapien an opportunity, but not quite, actually. That's going to give Christopher Tones the opportunity. Though Christopher Tones is going to have to basically settle for that position right now. If Jet Engelman, he only has 2 more laps to hold on. And we see Quinn Smith finally coming into the pits here. So as I predicted, I think he will come out in front of Provolone for P10. We'll see where that or how that happens. Professor Conotis is going to get overtaken by Brian Faluna there. Brian Faluna working their way through the field after that stop-go 30 was our race leader at one point in time. Now down in P15. Christopher Tones pressuring. Oh, so actually we did. Wait, where the heck? Ricardo Sapien had an error. Ricardo Sapien fell off the pace there a bit, and that gives Christopher Tones the opportunity now on Jet Engelman. But Jet just has to defend for another 2 laps. Although I don't know if that's going to be possible. That damaged Ferrari is doing everything it can. Through Kumo we go. And then the final corner onto the start-finish straight. We'll hop on board with the Aston Martin, see what sort of run they get. He's going to look down the inside, but a good squeeze from Jet Engelman. We'll see going into turn 1. Late enough on the brakes is Tones, and he's going to hold it through Tarzan. Lovely overtake. Jet Engelman, great defense. Tried absolutely everything he could there. But in the end, not quite enough. Nate, welcome. Hope you're doing great tonight. Hope, as I've said it a million times, but I do mean it, hope everyone's doing great tonight. TJ Washed here, I think getting overtaken by I'm Not Jimmy. I'm Not Jimmy in 5th position here. Lovely. And we see Quinn Smith actually coming out in P14, so even worse than I predicted. Comes out on the back of the pack of, that is currently being led by Fallon. No, led by Turner. Wait, who? No, that's a lapped car. I'm crazy. I'm a nut. I'm crazy in the coconut. Brian Faluna, though, is even crazier, trying to go 3 wide with Quinn Smith and a back marker, I think that was. Oh, no, that was Kenneth Smith. So we see Kenneth Smith and Quinn Smith, who I don't think have any relation. Gonna be next to each other on track here. Brian Faluna, though, pushing his way through. Not the greatest race from Quinn Smith or Brian Faluna, for that matter. These 2 potential race leaders sitting down, battling for P13 currently. But our overall race leader, Jacob Padberg, is going to be getting through the traffic, overtaking Dan Tesaro right now. Ali Raza behind him, about 6 seconds. They confiscated your sim cube? Oh no. That would have been sick, though. You should, oh dude, you can't league race on a plane? That'd be... Man, people just don't want to have fun anymore. That's just the 2 and 2.
The leader has finished the race.
Leader has finished the race. That's Jacob Padberg finishing the race. Ali Raza not too far behind him, coming across the line. Gage Gonzalez right behind him for P3. Makes up our top 3. Niall Schlieder will be coming around the final corner now to make that P4. Very nice race from him. I think he qualified down in 7th position, making up a good bit of ground. Comes across the line, the 37 Porsche. Very nice for P4. P5 for I'm Not Jimmy. Amazing race from him. I'm Not Jimmy, a very solid driver. One who we've seen, I mean, make amazing plays throughout this field. A driver you don't see too often in the top, but I think we will at some point. Carter Rivera for P8, Bronson Turner, P9, Aaron Kuhn in P10. Well, battling for P10, actually. We'll see if his teammate Dalton Oxborough can get a better run. I don't think so, though. And weaving down the straight, we see Aaron Kuhn will secure that P10, Dalton Oxborough for P11, Jason Provolone for P12, Brian Faluna for P13, Quinn Smith P14 with Kenneth Smith and a bunch of other people right behind him. Professor Kenotis for P16, nice race from him. Jet Engelman, unfortunately, down in P18 after a bit of an incident early on. Wasn't his fault. Well, I don't know if it was his fault. I shouldn't say that. Eric Kossian for P20. Kevin Yu for P21. Stephen Tomzik will be coming across the line here shortly for P22. And Guy Smelly, the last one across the line for P30 in that Honda NSX. That'll be race 1 for tonight. We have another race, so don't go anywhere, folks. We have another probably free practice, qualifying, and then race session. So plenty of action here to go at Zandvoort. Wet start to the race for this one. So we'll see if qualifying is anything like that. Server needs to reset. Well, there we go. So we're going to have a quick little reset. And it is raining.
Green light. Go, go, go.
I am the greatest weatherman of all time. I don't know why they pay those people on Good Morning America and all that. They should just pay me to be a weatherman. They don't even need the fancy science equipment or anything. So we will see, I think, nothing happen in this session, I would imagine, as we're going to be getting ready for a server restart real quick to make sure the qualifying length is the correct length. And I unfortunately didn't take a replay, I don't think. Oh, but it auto-saved. We can, you know what? Let's do that. Let's go watch the start again. Sounds like a good plan. Enzo, have a great night. And yes, indeed, see you tomorrow. So, we'll see here. Why didn't it save? I did. Lovely. Watch that race start again. And, let's see. Here we go. Oh, man. Oh, man. There we go. Stick with the leaders here. I want to see from Tyler Marlowe, though. Tyler Marlowe did get caught up in an incident here at the start. So let's see what happened to him. I think it might have been self-inflicted, but I don't remember. Well, let's see. Coming into Tarzan here, we see these drivers all making it so far. Then we see a bit of contact that was with Ollie Raza. Tyler Marlowe, I'm not sure. I think that was just a bit of a racing incident. And behind that, there's chaos that we see a bump there. I think that was Aaron Kuhn. Somewhere? I don't know. Tyler Marlowe. Gonna be everyone behind here. Very clean start, though, nonetheless. Everyone making it through pretty well. Just one little incident. We see the Bentley there onto the gravel. Where'd that go? Man, the freaking spectator thing. Oh, and I want to see that. Okay. That was Jarek Snyder, I think. Let's go back and see that. Jarek Snyder coming into Shivelock here. Right behind, I don't know who, because the HUD doesn't update properly. We see the Bentley off track. Bentley rejoining Jarek Snyder onto the grass, rejoining the track. He does safely, but there's a car spun around. What? Okay. I need to see this from his perspective because this is absolute chaos, I would imagine. Onto the grass, has in the spray, and then there's a car in front of him. Voila! The Audi of Casey Schutte. So, let's see here. What happened with Casey Schutte? If I can... There we go. Go back to see what happened here. As we are now just dissecting lap 1 of last race. We see Quinn Smith getting very out of shape there, but saving it. And then, just basically the exact same thing Quinn Smith did, but goes around and then gets head-on contact. Casey Schutte does with Jarek Snyder. Nothing either driver could have done in that case. Jarek Snyder basically coming in blind to that incident. And Casey Schutte facing the wrong way. Let's check the server. I think the server's probably back up by now. Alrighty. Looks like it is. Lovely.
Green light, go, go, go.
And we are in free practice indeed. Lovely. I need to... There we go. Driver's just in free practice right now. Probably not going to see too many cars on track. We'll follow the 226 car here of Guy Smelly. Guy Smelly not with the greatest race last race, unfortunately. Had a couple incidents. But incidents do happen. Very nice livery, though. I will admit that 226 Honda. Very basic, but not basic as well. It's got some very nice color scheme on it. Gold and blue. Sorry, I punched my mic. The gold wing mirrors as well. But 1 minute left in qualifying here. As we're waiting for some drivers to rejoin the server, I would imagine. We have 33 drivers, actually, so most of the drivers have returned. And actually starting a lap is Guy Smelly. We'll see if he actually finishes it. We'll ride on board with him, why not? Going through Tarzan. Very nice. Now coming into T2 here. Decent. Climbing the hill on the throttle nice and early into T3. First gear losing all that momentum. Having to make a little bit of a correction on the steering wheel. But decent exit onto the straight as we are powering here towards Shivlock. Onto the curbing, a little bit too much there. Downshifting down to third. That BMW right behind him. And coming into Masters now. He's a BMW driving like a BMW behind him, that's for sure. Giving him the hurry up. And wide goes Guy Smelly and abandons his lap, leaving the BMW to go on his way. Ricardo Sapien out on track here as well. Bit of a moment there through the final corner. Hopefully that doesn't happen in the qualifying. But now we will be coming into qualifying and practicing his... Oh, very hot. I think that would have been a drive-through penalty, which we saw quite a few of last race. Drivers keeping... Oh, okay. Night qualifying it is. Gonna be a wet qualifying. Doesn't look like it.
Go, go, go.
So it's gonna be dark and damp. Combination that a lot of drivers are gonna probably struggle in, but these conditions do separate the good from the great. We'll see if any drivers in particular can benefit from that. Currently, though, drivers staying out in the pits. In fact, I would even imagine as qualifying heads on, we will see if... I would imagine the lap times are just going to be improving basically every single lap. Car is now coming out on track. See the 22 car. No, that wasn't 22. No, it was 19. It had a 22 on the top of it. Fair enough. In that BMW. First one out on track. Andy Oak. It is raining. Doesn't look like it's raining that hard, but it is coming down. So these drivers will have that to deal with, as well as the other issues in it being night. Blind apexes. Not too many lights on this corner, or on this track, I should say. Not just this corner. There are lights, but they're not on. Who didn't turn the freaking street lights on? Oh, yeah. And that's something that these drivers are going to be struggling with a lot. The back end stepping out there. Oh, and the back end's gone in the barrier. No grip whatsoever on track. I would imagine we're not going to see the fastest lap times here. Kenneth Smith lapping so far. I'm not sure what. The 357 Aston Martin. Keeping it under control, though. We'll see coming into the back sector here. Sector 2. Oh, no, we're in a Masters. Excuse me. There we are. Or turn 9 into turn 10, that is. And drifting through turn 10. That's not the way you want to take that corner. It's going to cancel all of that speed. And let's get the overall timings up here. Drivers. Is there any driver that's going to be setting a lap? Lackney? Setting a lap? Nope. The 82 car here, I think, will be setting a lap. We'll see. Coming across the line, we should see a time get set here. Nope. 95? No, definitely not. Drivers. Oh, everyone's invalidating, basically, I think. Yes, everyone's invalidating. These conditions catching out a lot of people. Still no lap time set. We'll see. I think the 99 car might actually set a lap time, where I can't find anyone. Coming across the line, we might see a time. We don't. These drivers struggling in these conditions. Versosa might be the first one to set a lap. We'll see. Coming across the line now. Will Daniel Versosa be the first one to set a lap, taking that pole position? Coming across the line, he doesn't. Unfortunate. Let's see here. The 263? Ricardo Sapien? Ricardo Sapien is on a valid lap, actually. Not a fast lap, but that's okay, because literally any lap right now will put you on pole position. Coming through Kumo, then the final corner here. Oh, big step out. This isn't going to be the fastest lap, I would imagine, from Ricardo Sapien, but whatever the time is, it might not be enough for pole position. I think he just invalidated. Coming across the line. He does set a time. 1:46.1. Absolutely blistering pace. Not really. Quickly beaten out by 1:44.8 from DeMarcus Rogers. We're now seeing some drivers actually setting some laps. Track conditions, I think, are improving by the minute. Guy Smelly is on an improvement. Actually, he's not on an improvement. Kevin Yu just coming across the line there with a 1:47.4. Take a look at the track conditions. As we see, it is actually pouring buckets right now, but it is going to lighten up in 5 minutes. So the split one drivers are going to be, well, exponentially faster, I would imagine, than the split two drivers. Not because of skill, but because of, well, track conditions. Drivers setting laps, though. Everyone just getting a banker in, as that's pretty much the most important thing to do right now. can see Kenneth Tones, good bit off the pace. I think that was just a lap, just to set a lap. But still a good amount of time. You do want to try to time this, though, as late as you can to come across that line, or to come across the checkered flag with basically like 11 minutes left. That'd be ideal. Because at the end of 11 minutes, I think, or 10 minutes, we will see the split 1 drivers come out and the split 2 drivers come in. As currently, we only see the silver plates on track right now. DeMarcus Rogers taking that pole position, Kevin Yu off the track there, unfortunately. No improvements on this lap. No one improving. Maybe from TJ Washed here, he has an opportunity to, but we see a time set from Lackney there in P5. Times all over the board, though. No one can figure this track out, it seems like, as it's night and damp. A very tricky combination. And actually, TJ Washed, not going to make an improvement. Losing a lot of time through that final sector, as that looks like where it is raining the hardest. So these drivers actually not going to be making an improvement. Actually, Kenneth Tones, though. Hard for him not to make an improvement. Will be making a decent one here. Has to make up about 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds to get the next position. Makes up a few tenths. Every tenth matters. Starting to see a couple improvements on the board here. Spool is making up a lot of time in that middle sector. Must have had a big moment on the last lap. 2.5 off pace. But only 0.2 off from second place. So DeMarcus Rogers showing that he can drive these wet conditions very well. A very nice qualifying, I should say, or like an amazing qualifying from DeMarcus Rogers, I should say. That's incredible. Great job from him. That Honda looking planted for him in this wet condition. He is so comfortable that it looks like he's going to stay in the pits and not try for another lap. The track, though, is getting a little bit better as time goes on. We see a 9/10 improvement here for Spool Lackney, putting him in second place. Still, though, a second off the pace of DeMarcus Rogers. DeMarcus Rogers with an absolutely blistering fast lap. Absolutely insane. Hawaii, I don't know if I said hi to you earlier. I know I saw you in chat earlier, but Hawaii, welcome. Welcome to being welcomed. TJ Washed will be coming across the line here to make a good improvement as well. Looking to improve some positions. Comes across the line up into second place, 0.7 off the pace. DeMarcus Rogers' time looking a little bit more under threat, but I think he might have timed this good enough to the point where he doesn't actually need to worry about it. DeMarcus Rogers, I think, will keep that pole position. The only one that will be challenging it really, well, from the split 2 drivers, I should say. Kevin Yu here on a good improvement, but a bit too far down. Spool Lackney, second off the pace and making improvements on this lap. And actually, Provolone steals the pole position out of nowhere. 1:44.8 from both drivers, but a 1:44.80 from Provolone and a 1:44.87 from DeMarcus. So Provolone, very nice lap. DeMarcus, though, still great qualifying from him. George Elmer here looking to make some good improvements. Has a bit of a lap to go, though, through Shivelock. Jump on board here with the Nissan into Masters. Decent. Little bit of an oversteer on exit. That's okay. Now into T9. It's all about setting up your entry for T10. Dead last. Thank you very much for the rating party. Hope your stream went well. And welcome all Dead Last viewers and Dead Last himself. Hope you guys are all having a great night. Currently in qualifying here with 10 minutes to go. We're just coming to the end of the qualifying session for the silver plates. Currently Jason Provolone on pole position with a 1:44.8. DeMarcus Rogers in second place with a 1:44.8 as well, but a 1:44.87, just slightly off the pole time. Aaron Kuhn with a very nice lap as well for third position. This wet qualifying is very much getting the best of some people. Oh, slicks are the answer? Fair enough. Oh, very deep goes George Elmer there. Jason Provolone on a lap that the race app can't even recognize. Spool Lackney second up on his lap, and plenty to go. This could be a very nice lap from him indeed. Track conditions getting drier by the minute. Looks like we are now in a dry qualifying, so the track getting drier by the lap. No more rain falling from the sky. Spool very nice and controlled on that throttle. Not getting that car to step out into the penultimate corner of Kumo. Very nice. Gets gripped up. Has to lift off a bit. Getting that car nice and rotated. Has to lift off even more. Ooh. That's a very tricky corner in these conditions, but still very good improvement. Where will this put him coming across the line? Up into second position. 2/10 off the pace. Just about 3/10 off. DeMarcus Rogers pushed down to third position. Other drivers, George Elmer is looking to make a decent improvement as well here. And DeMarcus Rogers, what a lap, I want to say. Just absolutely insane. He set that in the wet conditions, and the only two to beat him out there was Jason Provolone and Lackney. Still could be beaten out, though, by Professor Kanotis, who set a very nice lap. And actually, what was that? Spool up into third position, pushes DeMarcus off of the podium. Kanotis will be coming across the line here very soon. George Elmer as well. George Elmer does and goes into sixth position. And Kanotis comes across the line for a nice improvement over DeMarcus Rogers there. DeMarcus Rogers bumped down to fifth position after that very nice lap. So we will now see the split one drivers coming out. I think the 53 car, Ricardo Rivera, leading the way. Actually, is that... Who's that? Who's the NS, the Honda in front there? It's number 30, Ali Raza, leading the way, actually. Hop on board with him here as he just went through Tarzan. Coming into the second corner now. Climbing up that hill, looking for the corner, but, well, there's not much to look for as it's very dark. Big moment of oversteer. But keeps it under control. On that throttle early, that traction control kicking in just a little bit. And now flat out all the way till Scheivlock. And now down into third gear, getting that rotation. Front end will be screaming by the end of this sector. In the Masters, good, very good entry, but exit not so great. Down into first gear now for T9. Bit on the edge, that Honda looking very aggressive. And not in a good way either. It's absolutely all over with the steering. And now accelerating into the hairpin, or excuse me, chicane, where overshooting that can be just absolutely lap ruining. Where if you go onto those curbs, your lap is essentially over, and if you go into the gravel, it really is. Now through Kumo, feathering that throttle, just very delicate. That Honda wanting to step out. Nice through the final corner though on that throttle fairly early. Had to do a little bit of a feathering. And now coming across the line, we'll see it brings him up to pole position with a 142.3. Very nice lap indeed. Ricardo Rivera, not quite enough to beat him out. Other drivers now will be coming across the line as well. Let's see, 888 of Padberg will be coming across the line. Ali Raza still on that pole position. Fallon, now Ali Raza beaten out by Jacob Padberg. Fallon taking third position. Ricardo Rivera in fourth. Tyler Marlowe in that Audi taking that fifth position right now. Casey Schutte. Man, TJ Washed, the very nice lap, I should say, as well. Taking TJ Wash taking that pole position. I missed that. It was an amazing lap from TJ Washed. Beating out Provolone at the very end. I didn't notice that. But we see Casey Schutte here pushing along. Jarek Snyder as well. Other drivers coming across the line here very soon. I'm Not Jimmy taking that sixth position. Quickly beaten out, though, by Ollie Raza? No? Who beat him out there? Still, with 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. And then after that, we have a 30-minute race with one mandatory pit stop. Brian Faluna here, pushing along, making a good improvement on his lap. And has plenty of it to go. We'll stick with him for this lap. Well, on board with him. The BMW pushing here through Scheivlach. Has a little bit of traffic up ahead to deal with. Hopefully that doesn't, the aero wash isn't too bad for him. This track can be, well, mainly Scheivlach is the corner where the aero wash is going to be most noticeable. And looked pretty good for him there. Coming into T9 now. Very under controlled. Catching up to that McLaren a little bit. And into T10. That's fairly good. Very controlled acceleration. Now barreling down to the chicane. We'll see how he can manage onto the curbing. Not quite. He actually is very conservative, taking a slower line through there, but still on a very good improvement nonetheless. And coming through Kumo, both these drivers. This will give him the slipstream onto the start-finish straight, actually. Bit of aero wash, though, through the final corner, I would imagine. Has to lift off a bit more than he wants. Running a little wide onto the grass. That's going to compromise the momentum. Has the slipstream, though, to make up for it. Coming across the line, 4/10 improvement. That puts him in second position still. 2/10 off the pace. Jacob Padberg with a flyer of a lap there. Ollie Raza on a flyer, though. 5/10 up currently. Has one more sector to go. Diving into the chicane right now. See if he can manage to take that pole position. Ollie Raza not having the greatest race last race, but nonetheless making it work. Now that Honda, well, Honda is currently on pole position with Jacob Padberg, so I can't really say the Honda's not looking too strong here. It looks very fast, but it looks very out of control as well. Coming across the line now, Ollie Raza for a decent improvement. That will be enough for P3. Not quite enough for P2, though. Now, Schlieder will follow along with him for a lap, as he is now coming through Scheivlach. Oh, and I'm having to correct the steering before he went into that corner just a little bit. That's going to compromise some momentum, but great exit nonetheless. Coming into Masters. Rotating that car nicely. Oh, but having to wait just a little bit to get on the throttle. Ah, yes, spouse swap. So, on Thursday, next Thursday, we will not have our Thursday night GT3, GT4 swap race. Instead, we are going to have a spouse swap race, where basically, you are going to be racing with your spouse or someone in your family in real life, and you will be switching actual rigs with them. For anyone interested on that, feel free to pop in the Discord or the Sim Grid for Trackalicious, both of which are in the description here. And, yeah, make sure it is this Thursday. For anyone interested, you'd be switching off in real life with someone, so if anyone who judges you for sim racing. Oh, big moment for Niall Schlieder. He runs wide. That's going to invalidate his lap. He had a good improvement, too. And that, honestly, it doesn't compromise him too much, luckily, because this is not the longest start-finish straight, but deep into T1, that's not where he wants to be. Niall Schlieder has a lot of work to do. Yes, so mixed. I am not great at explaining things. That is how it works. So it's one rig, two drivers. So basically, you will have some people like to do it with their son. Some people like to do it. There we go. Here, GT3 event, 40-minute race, 10-minute spouse, inexperienced friend. Start 20 minutes plus sim racer, 10 minutes. Oh, this is the format. Okay. So basically, you guys are going to be swapping rigs. It's not an in-game driver swap, yes. And Eric providing that, or, well, Trackalicious, which is me and Eric. I'm Mike Nause here. And I think I have Eric joining me. Yes, hello.
I figured I'd come and give you a hand with the spouse swap description, but
Yes.
I'll do it after you're done qualifying.
Okay. So, currently, along with Niall Schlueter, 36 seconds to go in qualifying until Eric gives us a wonderful personal broadcast message. Currently, Jacob Padberg leading the field, 141.3 from him. Brian Faluna not too far behind and on a good improvement as well, but plenty of lap to go. Both of these drivers are going to be battling it out. This is the last lap they will have to set. Track conditions improving every single lap. And we see the Bentley as well. Actually, I want to say of Sophie Jones coming across the line now for a really nice improvement. We'll be going from P17 up to P8. Love to see it. Bentley flying. Jacob Hadberg rounding Kumos. No, not Kunos. Kumo. Coming across the line now to improve on his pole position time. Not that he needed to. 140.7. And actually, Brian Faluna, though, will be trying to battle for that. Currently 9/10 off. 4/10 up on his previous lap. Niall Schlueter on a good improvement as well. Still a bit to go from him, though. Brian Faluna will be finishing the lap before that. Dalton Oxborough, though, on a very good lap, too. Who is right behind Brian Faluna. So we'll stick with him. And now coming through the final turn onto the start-finish straight. Coming across the line. It will not be enough for pole position, but it will improve his time nonetheless. 5/10 off pole. Absolutely blistering lap from Padberg. I'm Not Jimmy taking that third position. Wow. Sneaking in. I'm Not Jimmy. That's amazing. Love to see it. Ollie Raza not going to be improving his lap either. Sitting in that fourth position. Niall Schlueter turning into a pirouette right before the finish line too, and he was on a good improvement. Dan Tazaro driving by the incident now will be coming across the line, and now we have a public service message from no one else than Eric Gakassian.
So, the spouse swap is happening this Thursday. Since we have a break week to prepare for our endurance race, the spouse swap is intended for anyone who is an amateur, never done it before, friend, parent, sister, brother, whatever it is. 10 minutes for the amateur to hop in, 20 minutes in real life swap. So you swap it in the rig in yourself, and then another 10 minutes for the new person to close off. It is this Thursday. Link is provided and it's SimGrid. Sign up. It's going to be really fun. We even have a blast with very low numbers showing up. So hope to get more, and it's no experience necessary. Crashing is okay. Just go out and have some fun. Good luck with the rest of the stream.
Thank you, and good luck with your race, Eric. So there we go, guys. That is how it works. As he explained, I'm terrible at explaining things. So you'll be swapping with your spouse or a friend in real life, inexperienced, and it's a lot of fun. We've had 5 of them so far. This will be the 5th one, I should say. And they're always a blast. I love commentating. I'll be commentating on it. And it's absolutely great. But that's 1 week from now. Well, not 1 week from now. That's this Thursday for anyone interested. Once again, SimGrid and Discord, there will be information as well. But we are here at Zandvoort right now. And we have a little bit of rain coming in the first 5 minutes, but after that, it looks like it's going to get nice and sunny. We'll see, though. I am a weatherman after all. So, Jacob Padberg, currently on pole position, that 888 Honda. Once again, taking that. Brian Faluna, actually not once again, Brian Faluna took pole position last race, and now second position for him. P23, or the 23 car of Brian Faluna. Then we have I'm Not Jimmy with an amazing qualifying session there, starting in P3. One of the best, I think the best qualifying session I've seen from I'm Not Jimmy. Ollie Raza lining up next to him in that Red Bull livery. Number 30 Honda. Quinn Smith in P5. 999 Lexus. Jet Engelman with a lovely qualifying as well in that Ferrari. Only Ferrari on the grid tonight in P6. We have Ross Fallon starting in P7. Ricardo Rivera in P8. Niall Schlueter in that 37 Porsche in P9. Casey Schutte, that 444 Audi in P10. Bronson Turner in P11. The Bentley of Sophie Jones. She will be starting down in P12. Dan Tesaro in P13. Tyler Marlowe in P14. We have Dalton Oxborough in P15. Jarek Snyder in P16. TJ Washed in P17. Jason Provolone in P18. Spool Lackney in P19. Professor Kenotis in P20. DeMarcus Rogers in P22. George Elmer in P23. Aaron Kuhn in P24. Kenneth Smith back in P25 here in that 357 Aston Martin. Kevin Yu in the 95 AMG. Andy Oak bringing up P26. Ricardo Sapien in the AMG as well in P27. Daniel Versosa in P28. Eric Gakassian in the BMW bringing up P29. Stephen Tomzik for P30. Guy Smelly for P31. Kenneth Tones, or why do I always say Kenneth? Christopher Tones. And Gage Gonzalez down here in last position. I don't think he set a time. Not sure what happened there. So Gage Gonzalez, very fast driver, starting from the back of the grid. This will be very interesting indeed. Brian Faluna in second, though. Padberg leading this pack away. We have a little bit of an outlap to go here. Zandvoort, though, very amazing track. I love this track. There are 14 corners? Yes, there's 14 corners on this track. It's a 2.6 mile circuit. It's right by the sea in Zandvoort, in the Netherlands. Well, I guess everywhere in the Netherlands is by the sea, so that's kind of unfair. But yes, Vulcan, Zandvoort is great. It's one of my favorite tracks. Very complicated, very technical. Low speed, I would say. Well, higher speed corners. Went there for the summer. Awesome. For GTWC, dude, that's awesome. Zandvoort, I bet in the Netherlands is absolutely, I bet it's a ton of fun there. The Dutch, they know how to party. No doubt about that. Well, I can't. I've never partied with a Dutch, but I've seen Dutch parties, allegedly. I'm going to drop that subject now because I'm digging myself a hole. But one more reminder, before we get into this race, we do have the spouse swap race coming up where you will trade places with your in real life partner or friend or inexperienced player. Thank you, Marshall, for pointing out the obvious. It's now wet. Yeah. And cars now are going to be getting ready to come across the final corner here. Cars still bunching up in the back, though. Still quite a bit of cars yet to find their current position where they'll be starting. But at the front here, lined up 2x2 Noah's Ark formation, we see Jacob Padberg leading the way. Brian Faluna is in second, lined up next to him, trying to get every little inch he can as we get ready here to go green for the final time in Zandvoort. And we are now green here, barreling down to Tarzan. We see great start from both P1 and P2. P3 caught sleeping a little bit. I'm Not Jimmy, though, actually very much caught sleeping. We see Ollie Raza taking that position from side by side into T1. Jacob Padberg trying to find that advantage, running Brian Faluna just a little bit wide and taking that position nicely, bit down the field. We see some side-by-side action. Niall Schleter and Ricardo Rivera bumping. There's some bumping and banging. Quinn Smith's round. Everyone's round. There's a big pile up. Everyone's managing to find their way, and there's yellow flags across the entire field. Everyone going into T3. There's a car around now. Oh my goodness. Not too much devastating contact, just a lot of contact. These drivers, oh, this is where the devastating contact is going to happen, if there is any, as we go into Shivlock here, getting ready. All of these drivers side by side, they're going to have to go nip and tuck here very soon. If not, they're going to have even more contact, but they do manage to go nip and tuck, and they all go in line once again. But a move there from, I think that was who is that? Gage Gonzalez is getting overtaken by DeMarcus. That's DeMarcus Rogers. Okay. And Jason Provolone making contact with that Honda. I think that was Spool up ahead. Spool managing to keep it under control, though. Provolone as well. And we see a little bit of three-wide action. Kevin Yu getting involved here as well with Gage Gonzalez. Oh, and there's contact. Gage Gonzalez hits the Mercedes. Mercedes, though, keeps it under control, braking a little early, it looked like. And that puts DeMarcus Rogers side by side with Gage Gonzalez behind. As we go into the penultimate corner, Gage Gonzalez is going to take that in the big lunge there from the McLaren. McLaren there of Bronson Turner making that move stick, and DeMarcus Rogers under threat from Christopher Tones as well. Christopher Tones getting that move done before the turn. Man, DeMarcus Rogers really struggling in these conditions. A bit further up the field, we see Ollie Raza pressuring onto Brian Faluna. These two managing to squabble both races so far. Jacob Hadberg walking away just a little bit. Niall Schlieder pressuring for that P5 on I'm Not Jimmy. Falling back a couple positions as he started on P3. Jet Engelman up into P4. Lovely start. Brian Faluna is off. He's in the grass, currently getting overtaken, down to 5th position. Looks like he's going to be overtaken by Niall Schlieder as well. Maybe turns in. Niall Schlieder's going to try everything he can. We see more cars off. And he does look like he's going to hold that. I want to go back, though, and see that. So we see the Honda and Brian Faluna here. The Honda making a lunge down Shivlock and makes contact with Brian Faluna. I think that's Ollie Raza in that Honda. And then a lunge from Fallon. Ross Fallon on the outside there. Brian Faluna looks like their pace has fallen off massively from that. Niall Schlieder got by. Brian Faluna currently in a world of hurt. Cardo Sapien, I think, just got overtaken by Provolone. George Elmer here is going to be trying to make a look on a very interesting part of the track onto Kenneth Smith. So George Elmer feeling that he is a very superior pace to Kenneth Smith, trying to make that overtake happen very soon here. Eric Gakassian, though, in P22, holding them up just a little bit. Yeah, the diffuser of the Merc could be dead. You're right, Mark. That wasn't that hard of a hit, though. Well, on the Merc it was. You're right. No, that's a lot of action, though, on T1. Aaron Kuhn, speaking of, having a little bit of action here with Tyler Marlowe. Tyler Marlowe getting by. And Niall Schlieder, currently under pressure from Brian Faluna. Yellow flag from Ricardo Sapien. Let's see what happened here. Oh, it's too much. He messed up in Shivlock, it looks like. And it was more than 15 seconds ago. Some drivers are in the pits here. Oh, actually, just a bit eager on the throttle. Oh, and another yellow flag from Ricardo Sapien, actually. Ricardo Sapien, this is not his night. But staying out of the way of other drivers, at least. See some side-by-side action there with the Bentley. Sophie Jones, 3 wide as we're going into a part of the track. This is T9. Going into turn 10 here, these cars are going to have to fan out one-on-one here. Looks like they do manage it. That Honda taking the wide line of Spool, trying to get that overtake onto Quinn Smith, and it looks like he does with amazing overspeed. We saw the first 5 minutes was supposed to be wet, and it was supposed to stop raining after that. Hasn't stopped raining yet. As it has been 5 minutes, 45 minutes on the clock for this race. We'll see when that rain does decide to stop. Dan Tazaro making a move on Niall Schlieder. That BMW with great speed over that Porsche on the straight. And is going to get ahead well before the braking zone. These four here battling it out. Quinn Smith trying to make a move onto Ricardo Rivera. Has the good speed. That Lexus fast in a straight line. That Honda not looking too great in these wet conditions. Well, I say that, and Ollie Raza and Jacob Hadberg are leading. Well, Jacob Hadberg's leading this race in a Honda. Ollie Raza behind him. And Dan Tazaro trying to make a move on Brian Faluna. Dan Tazaro, absolute legend. And Jet Engelman's facing the wrong way on track. That's a surprise. And, oh no, Tyler Marlowe. So these, oh man. Jet Engelman rejoining safely. That's just a very tricky spot to rejoin. But managing to make it work. And then there's he's off again, the Ferrari. That's a big one. Jet Engelman, who had an amazing qualifying, and that looks like he's going to end his race there tonight. Absolutely hate to see it. Spool, though, battling with I'm Not Jimmy. I'm Not Jimmy starting in 3rd position today. Not making the best of these wet conditions. Lovely switchback there from the Honda of Spool. I'm Not Jimmy caught a little sleep in there. Dalton Oxborough is going to be closing onto them as... Oh, wait. Dalton Oxborough got by Casey Schutte. Bit further down, Tyler Marlowe still pressuring on I'm Not Jimmy. We'll see if anything happens with there. Ooh, we see Action Gage Gonzalez, I think that is. There's that Ricardo Rivera getting overtaken by TJ Washed down the inside of Tarzan. That Porsche making it stick. Ricardo Rivera pushing along as much as he can. He might have sustained some damage. I'm not sure. We see Bronson Turner with a yellow flag. Not sure why. Other drivers we see struggling. This rain is not stopping. It's supposed to, but it's not. So the weatherman taking notes from me today. Ricardo Rivera has a yellow flag. What happened there? Rejoining the track, battling with Jason Provolone. And we see more yellow flags. We see off from Bronson Turner. And that was a big impact with the barrier. Oh, and almost rejoining the track unsafely there, but not quite. I do want to see what happened there. Onto the curbing. Oh, that's so easy to do. And oh, that wasn't the biggest whack. It was a massive side hit. Oh, but a big rear hit from that barrier. That's going to be really tricky with a McLaren. As soon as that McLaren diffuser gets damaged, your race is practically over. McLaren, though, very good in the wet. Downforce, not too much of a, well, you know, not the most important thing in the wet. It is and it isn't. Oh, and wide goes Casey Schutte, his teammate, Tyler Marlowe. Actually, they're not teammates. I think they just have similar liveries. Tyler Marlowe getting through Audi on Audi action there. Coming across the line once again here. Both of them lapping 145.7, 145.6. Last lap, 143s from Jacob Padberg and Ollie Raza. Yellow flag from Casey Schutte facing the wrong way on track. And backing up very far into the gravel trap. This looks like T1 of Tarzan. What happened here? Overshoots the braking zone. Goes onto the gravel and just pirouettes. And gets off the track as soon as he can. Aaron Kuhn battling here with Niall Schlieder, as they're going to be rounding Kumo very soon. And then the final corner, I think Aaron Kuhn is going to want to make a move onto Niall Schlieder here very soon. That McLaren seeming fairly fast in the wet. Porsche not so much, but we'll see what sort of exit they can. Wait, they're not on the final straight. I'm on the... We're fine. I don't know where they're at, clearly. I'm looking at the map, and I don't know where they're at, but that's fine. Bit further down, TJ Washed pressuring Quinn Smith and being pressured as well simultaneously by Provolone, making a bit of an offensive-defensive move there, having to attack to defend. Quinn Smith holding these guys up quite a bit. 99 car is getting very impatient. Both of these Porsches definitely are going to want by, and we see a bit of a move opportunity here into the chicane, trying to take the long way around. We'll have the inside line on the next corner, but I don't know if you want the inside line, as there's some big old curbs in there that will very much unsettle your car. And rounding Kumos now. Onto the gravel goes TJ Washed. We'll see if that gives an opportunity to Jason Provolone. Jason Provolone will be trying to make a move here on the start-finish straight. He's very close in that slipstream. Takes a look down the inside. Will he go late enough on the brakes? He does side by side into Tarzan, but has to back out. Tries to stick with it though. Keeps the momentum. Will have the inside line. Well, kind of. Not yet. Now we'll have the inside line for the next turn, and then the outside. And I'm not sure he'll be able to get this overtake done here. But very impatient. We see a stop-go penalty from the Bentley again. Oh no. Bentley speeding in the pits here at Zandvoort is, that's their specialty, I guess. That sucks. And Jason Provolone still getting, I would imagine, frustrated at this point now. They have a Bentley now behind them, a lapped Bentley, though, so probably won't be getting too tangled up in this encounter. But Quinn Smith really seems to be struggling for pace, lapping at a 1:48 last lap. Leaders, Jacob Hadberg lapping the fastest lap last lap at a 1:42, lapping 6 seconds faster per lap than these guys here. I know they're squabbling, but I didn't know they were squabbling that much. Quinn Smith going extremely defensive onto the curbing. That's going to unsettle his car. Hopefully he doesn't make contact. The Porsche running wide and actually having to run too wide. We'll have the inside curve, though, into the penultimate corner. That 99 car gets through. TJ Washed relieved at this point, and we'll see if that Bentley is going to be trying to unlap himself, or excuse me, herself, onto Provolone. That's going to be a little annoying for Provolone, as Provolone wants to get the hurry up on Quinn Smith here and get this overtake. But Quinn Smith coming back at TJ Washed down the inside, late on the brakes in that Lexus, gets the job done. But I say that, and it's the switchback, lovely switchback maneuver there from TJ Washed, realizing that he outbroke himself. Contact with the Bentley, and Quinn Smith's off into the barrier. Massive, massive hit. You hate to see that. You really do. That was Sophie Jones, unfortunately, making a little bit of contact there with them. Jason Provolone will be battling on, I would imagine, trying his best to overtake TJ Washed. These Porsches running side by side. Inside line for Provolone. That's going to go very deep, though. We'll see TJ Washed very good at these switchbacks, but I don't think he is good enough this time. And is also going to be under pressure from behind. That's going to be the Nismo of George Elmer getting involved in this as well. These guys very much lapping not ideal speeds. TJ Washed last lap lapping at a 1:48, and George Elmer, the car who just caught up, lapping at a 1:45. So these guys are really squabbling. And we also see a move here side by side. I think that's Oxborough getting, oh, there's contact, bit of bumping and banging. Dalton Oxborough trying to hold that position off, and there's even more bumping. Spool Ackney, though, down the inside, lovely overtake. Gets the job done. Yeah, the weather has let off a little bit, but it looks like it still is raining. It's damp. Okay, no, so it isn't raining anymore. It's just, I don't see the track drying up too quickly here. There's not much sun out. We see 263 car round. Ricardo Sapien facing the wrong way, and Kevin Yu is disconnected, unfortunately. Oh, wait, no, he's back. We're good. Ricardo Sapien's just facing the wrong way. Jacob Hadberg lapping Kenneth Tones there. Hadberg is on another planet right now with his lap times. 1:42.2 last lap. 1:42.1 from Ali Raza, so these guys are flying. Fastest lap is a 1:42.0. Aaron Kuhn trying to get a move onto Brian Faluna. Well, Brian Faluna must have had some damage onto that BMW. At least some irreversible damage, because he does not quite have the pace that he had before. And now Schlieder here getting overtaken by Spool. Now Schleter falling back a little bit, and now also under pressure from Tyler Marlowe. Tyler Marlowe is going to be pushing here and trying to make a move around the inside, but has to, it gets covered off. Trying to make the move around the outside now of Tarzan. Can he go late enough on the brakes? Holds the outside line. They almost make contact, but don't. Now Schleter will be trying to come back around on the inside, have that advantage for the next corner here. And actually, though, lovely overtake from Tyler Marlowe. Wow. Gets the nose ahead. We see TJ Wash making a pit stop here, along with some other drivers. But absolutely incredible overtake from Tyler Marlowe. Awesome. Love to see the clips, guys. Dalton Oxborough here pressuring onto Niall Schleter. Niall Schleter driving backwards, it seems like. Well, driving in reverse, I guess. Not really backwards, but under massive pressure from Dalton here. Don't know how long he can manage to keep this pressure up. Track, though, looking like it's going to be drying out a little bit. So we see the sun cresting through the clouds just a tiny bit. That will make the track dry significantly faster here. We see the weather looking like it's going to be not that sunny. It's going to be cloudy with a chance of sunny. And there, Dalton making the overtake. Niall Schleter, both of them making a little bit of an error, but Dalton making less so of one. Gets the overtake onto Niall Schleter. Niall Schleter at this point fully in reverse. But I'm Not Jimmy a good bit away, so don't think he will be catching anytime soon. And we saw Sophie Jones in the Bentley get that stop-go 30 early on. Has made that pit stop. Well, has made their stop-go 30 stop. Still need to make a pit stop. Quinn Smith has made their actual pit stop, along with Jarek Snyder. Quinn Smith moving through the lap traffic right now. Has a good bit to go. Lots of lap traffic to get through till he can get some clean air. But these two, Spool and Aaron, they're going to be battling it out. Rounding Schleivlock now. Going into Masters. Very tricky to overtake at all through these sectors. We see a damaged diffuser from that number 6 Honda too. The McLaren looking in pretty good condition, but that number 6 Honda has the pace down the inside of T9, or T10, excuse me. Goes Spool, and is going to make that overtake stick. Aaron Kuhn struggling for pace a little bit in that McLaren. Sophie Jones pressuring onto Quinn Smith here. This is for position. It's for position for lap, or for still yet to pit though. Oh, and there's gonna not be contact. Okay, that was good. That was good. That was good. The Bentley getting very close to the Aston there of Kenneth Tones. Kevin Tones? No. Is it? I apologize. Christopher. It's Christopher Tones. Why can I not remember your name, Christopher? It's not that tough. Versosa getting out of the way very nicely there for Spool. Yellow flag there. Oh no, Quinn Smith and the Bentley have made contact, and a lot of it. Other drivers looking like they're getting involved as well, but not quite. What has happened here? As we see the Bentley trying to make a move on Quinn Smith. Quinn Smith, what the heck just happened? I don't know. I don't know what just happened. I'm just gonna be honest. I couldn't really digest that one. Kenneth Tones under severe pressure from the 55 of... No, that's Fallon. The lap traffic, never mind. But actually has Quinn Smith behind him as well, who's not on the same lap as well either. Oh, and round goes Andy Oak. Christopher Tones coming into... Oh, and that Honda getting out of the way last second. That was a very clumsy collision. Yeah, that was very clumsy from, I don't want to say both drivers, but I think either driver could have avoided that. But I think you can mostly put the blame there on on Tones. Not Kenneth. Kenneth is fine. It's Tones, I think, was the one mostly responsible for that, but I'm not sure. I'm not a steward, I don't know. Christopher. We got there in the end. He was just doing that to be a jerk. That's all he was doing. He wasn't doing that for actual information. Yeah, Stewart's got a bit of work to do, especially after that lap one. Eric Gakassian will be trying to pressure Casey Schutte in front of him. Both of these cars look like they're looking not quite in showroom condition. Not sure they've been tested in the wind tunnel as their current iteration. Downforce isn't going to be optimal. But other drivers coming in the pits. We see Aaron Kuhn coming into the pits and George Elmer as well. So drivers making their first and only pit stop. No pit requirements for tonight, I don't think. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there is. Ollie Raza is getting overtaken Padberg because Padberg pit. Our race leader has come into the pits. Very early stop from him, well, compared to the rest of the field. And Spool trying to make a move here on to Faluna, actually. Spool with some very nice pace. Faluna going extremely defensive, and so defensive he's going into the pits. Explains why he tucked so far down the inside. Okay. Dalton Oxborough as well into the pits. Padberg coming out of the pits. We'll see where Padberg comes out real quick. He is going to come out in front of the 929 car of... Who is that? Oh, behind the 929 car of... Oh, man. 929 car pit. This is... Everything's fine. I'm not losing my mind, I promise. Kevin Yu. Holy cow, brain. Kevin Yu, turn your freaking windshield wipers off. Along with the Honda in front. Trying to make a move into Masters is Kevin Yu. Kevin Yu, the master of Masters here. Coming into T9. Can he make it stick? The Honda is going to have to turn in at some point here, carrying that momentum. But Kevin Yu, will he have the advantage? He does. Makes it stick. Guy Smelly, not yet to make their pit stop. And getting overtaken there by the AMG of Kevin Yu. Kenneth Smith in the pits. And Dalton as well. Other drivers still need a pit. Whoa. What was that? Padberg rear end getting very, very out of shape, but holding it nonetheless. Looks like he is very eager to get by Nause Schlueter. We'll see. Nause Schlueter might just come into the pits this lap. I don't think he wants to battle Jacob Padberg too much, but we'll see. Does Jacob Padberg, will he retain the lead here after Ollie Raza comes into the pits? Ollie Raza currently in the pits right now. We see Schlueter coming in as predicted, and Ollie Raza is going to be coming out of the pits. We'll see. I don't think he is going to come out in front of Jacob Padberg. In fact, he's not even close. Jacob Padberg already rounded the first corner, so not even close. Jacob Padberg, our preliminary race leader. Dan Tazaro currently leading the race, though, in the BMW, still yet to make their pit stop. Other drivers here in the pits, we see Tyler Marlowe, Spool as well. So most of these drivers now getting their pit stops out of the way, as they don't have much time to do so. They kind of need to get the hurry up on that. 20 minutes left to go, though, so still a good bit of time. Thank you very much, oh my. Texty for the follow. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Yeah, you'll have to tell me how to pronounce that one. That one's, my brain doesn't get that. Casey Schutte's going slow. What happened to Casey Schutte here? Oh, and he just gets onto the curbing. On a light tap with the barrier. And did he get hit here? No, he got out of the way. Okay. I'm not Jimmy in 4th position right now. He did start the race in 3rd, but he is still yet to pit. Making good time, though, with Ollie Raza in front of him. He lapped his fastest lap last lap of a 142.8. Fastest lap overall currently held by Jacob Hadberg of a 141.6. Track conditions looking a little bit better now. Still damp, but sun's out. Sun's out, fun's out. So we will see if that track dries up. We still do see a tiny bit of spray from the tires, though. George Elmo trying to make up some ground here. But I'm not Jimmy. Let's hop on board with him as he's trying to stick with Ollie Raza. Oh, Cubbage. Okay. Thank you, Mixed. Or Cubbage. I appreciate it. Yes, I'd like to pronounce as many names correctly as possible, so if I do mispronounce your name, feel free to give me a hard time. Awesome. Thank you. Cubbage. Cubbage, Cubbage, Cubbage. All right, I've said it 3 times. It's the rule of 3s. I now cannot forget it. Casey Schutte. Not look. Oh, Eric Gostian's in the pits. That's why it's yellow. It's all right. Everyone's got to start somewhere. Mysterious stranger rooting for Padberg. Well, good thing you are so, because he's currently not our race leader. He's currently sitting in 2nd place, but Dan Tesaro, our race leader, has yet to pit and is only 20 seconds behind. So when Dan Tesaro makes that pit stop, that will be giving the lead back to Jacob Padberg, who's 10 seconds ahead of Ollie Raza. These guys are just blisteringly fast. Track conditions greasy now? Nope. Damp. It's a damp track. Padberg lapping a fastest lap, 140.8, so the track conditions still improving. And he is not slowing down. I'm not Jimmy in the pits. Ross Fallon has made his pit stop in 4th position now. It's a very nice race from Ross Fallon so far. Yellow flag from Bronson Turner. Not sure why. It's fine. I don't know, Mixed. Because I feel like a lot of people saw that it was only going to rain for a little bit. I feel like most people started with dry tires. Especially with the lap times that we're seeing. But times like Aaron Kuhn, 148, lapping his best lap is a 144.2. I mean, that might just be I might just be being rude and saying that he's a little slow, but that's okay. Dan Tesaro will be lapping him relatively soon. That could be why we saw lots of spinning. Dan Tesaro getting by here. Aaron Kuhn. Well, Aaron Kuhn not wanting to give it up. Respect there. Ricardo Rivera attacking Kevin Yu here relatively soon. Has come into pressure there. The AMG now going to be looking into his rearview mirror just a little bit, as we still see a bit of spray coming up from the tires every now and then, coming into certain corners. Ricardo Rivera is going to be pushing along here. Going to be tough to make the overtake into Shivlock, but we have seen overtakes coming out of it into Masters, and he's going to be trying to take a very wide line. Actually, I don't know if he made an error or if he is intentionally taking that line. I think he is intentionally taking that line to carry the speed here into Masters, trying to get a good look into T9. Will he go extremely late on the brakes? Not quite. He goes for the move. All but wide goes Kevin Yu. That will give Ricardo Rivera the perfect opportunity, and around goes Ricardo Rivera. He's gonna, yeah, he is, wow. Yeah, Padberg is on another planet right now. He is lapping. Well, no one else besides Ali Raza is lapping in the 140s. Actually, I take that back. Spool is also lapping in the 140s, so very rapid. Lots of fast guys here tonight. Now Schleter attacking Tyler Marlowe. Professor Kenotis not too far behind them, but has yet to make his pit stop. Into Shivlock we go once again at 37 Porsche. Trying to do everything it can to stay behind here, as it just needs to stay behind till that final sector, where you can get a very good run into T1. At least that's the goal. T1 will be your best overtaking opportunity from this part of the track forward, barring any massive mistakes, and that Audi doesn't look particularly healthy. See though, now Schleter getting a bit impatient, having a look on the outside of the chicane. Very interesting, but sticking with him nonetheless, so it doesn't really matter. Trying to force him into an error. And now, coming into Kumos. No, not Kumos. It's Kumo. It's not Kunos. And will there be a move here? It's going to have to be a late move from Niall Schleter if there is one. Tucks to the inside. Not late enough on the brakes, though. Be very optimistic if he did that. And you said let's go. Does that mean that Jacob Padberg did lap Ricardo Rivera? Yes, indeed. The Puerto Rico E-Racing Club member getting lapped by Jacob Padberg, our race leader in that 888 Honda. Flying in this race. Fastest lap from Brian Faluna of a 1:39.7. Okay, I don't know what you put in your Wheaties, Brian, but that's kind of insane as he laps his teammate Eric Gakasi, and track is now greasy. Brian Faluna getting caught up by Dan Tazaro and held up a little bit even. These BMWs with pretty good pace. Dan Tazaro last lap, lapping at a 151, so having a massive error. We don't think we saw that, though. But that does put him right in the grips here of Brian Faluna. Brian Faluna is getting extremely impatient, too. Having a look into Kumo. Yes, Mysterious. That is an absolutely excellent summary. This is going to be, should be a very easy overtake here from Brian Faluna. Has the inside, has the overspeed, and yep, we see Dan Tazaro tucking to the outs, or tucking in the rear, in the slipstream there, and giving him the position. Brian Faluna with very nice pace, taking that P4 position and looking a bit further ahead up the road, but I don't think he will be catching, well, actually, Ross Fallon is only 8 seconds up the road. 10 minutes to go, he will have to lap, well, faster than a lap faster than him. Or just under a second a lap faster than him, so that's possible. 139.8 from Brian Faluna last lap, 141.1 from Ross Fallon. Padberg once again setting the fastest lap as these track conditions are improving. 139.6 from him, and I would imagine we'll see, honestly, an even faster lap on this one as he comes across the line. Not quite, actually, 138, so he had a bit of an error. 140 even. There are no points awarded for fastest lap, but still relevant. Spool here making an overtake onto Professor Kenotis. Professor Kenotis still needs to make his pit stop. We see a yellow flag on track for Guy Smelly. He's facing the wrong way. What has happened here? Oh, it is a big drift. I don't know what happened, but everyone... Wow, that's a really bad spot. Oh! Oh my goodness. Don't do that, guys. Don't go in reverse when you're facing the wrong way on the track. That's just a pro... That's not even a pro tip. That's just like a... Just don't do it. He got spun. Oh. That's... Yeah, I didn't see that, but... That sucks. Brian Faluna taking the fastest lap back, 139.2. These two battling the fastest lap out. So Brian Faluna, 6.6 seconds to Ross Fallon. He was 8 seconds a couple laps ago. I think this might be possible for a podium from Brian Faluna. Still a good bit of work to do. Yeah. Don't go full reverse racing ever. Not when, especially when there's, well, 28 drivers on the grid now. But still, that was questionable rejoin. Well, you're already rejoined. So, yeah, just don't use reverse. George Elmer trying to have a look onto Provolone. Not quite making anything of it. Provolone struggling a little bit for pace, it seems like. Currently, Dan Tazaro leading the silver plates. Spulacany in second place with the silver plates. And Professor Kenotis, awesome. Still yet to pit, though. So, third place currently, but I'm not Jimmy. Well, actually, I'm not Jimmy. He's in a white plate. Jacob Hadberg, though, leading this race by 11.5 seconds to Ali Raza. Ross Fallon even further behind to Ali Raza than that. Brian Faluna, though, catching 5.2 seconds, has managed to lap 138.5 this lap. Ross Fallon 140.0. So that is the pace that Brian Faluna needs to have to lap or to overtake Ross Fallon by the end of this race. In fact, actually, he needs to pick it up a little bit more even, which is really saying something because he's already a rocket. He's going to need a bit of an error from Ross Fallon, I would imagine. 7 minutes to go, though. Anything can happen in racing, and it normally does. So we will see. Yellow flag from Niall Schleter. There looked like there was contact involved there. What has happened here? We see Ricardo Sapien. I think that is. Niall Schleter taking too much curb onto the grass. Round he goes, and oh, a massive hit with the barrier. Self-inflicted error there from Niall Schleter. Puts him down into 8th position with a good bit of damage to Professor Kenotis right behind him now, well, 2 seconds behind. Big error there from Niall Schleter. You hate to see it. We see Kevin Yu in the pits. Not sure if that's... He already has made a pit stop, so... Maybe a splash and dash or something along those lines. Not sure. Professor Kenotis is closing on the Niall Schleter. Niall Schleter must have suffered some damage there. But Professor Kenotis still does have to pit. And I would imagine he's going to do that soon. Mainly because he has to. So we'll see. Onto the gravel. It's going to compromise his exit. This might just be the best lap to pit for Professor Kenotis. We'll see. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. We see a little bit of lights flashing there from Niall Schleter. I'm not sure if Niall Schleter was saying that he wanted him to go by or not. That was interesting. I don't know. Not sure what the flashing of the lights was about there. Professor Kenotis falling off a little bit. But actually, I say that. Never mind. Ross Fallon. Maybe, are those his brake lights? Oh, he just has his flashers on. That explains a lot. He's got his hazards on. Now Schleter driving with his hazards on, confusing everybody. Professor Kenotis wanting to get involved, though. Try to get by. Goes side by side here into turn 9. Coming into turn 10, he will have to take the long way around in that BMW. Going for the switchback, maybe? Not quite. A corner pretty difficult to get the switchback on, as it's a quite late apex. Very difficult to carry that speed. 4 minutes left to go, though. Having a look down the inside is Kenotis. Thinks better of it again. It works, Mysterious. It's confused me. Professor Chronotis, though, doesn't have many laps to go and still needs a pit. Dalton Oxborough's in the barrier. We'll see here. Chronotis still... He's coming in. Okay. No, he's not. He's making a move. Dude, what the heck? All right. Down the inside, gets the overtake done before the corner and before the braking zone even. Watch Ross. Yeah, you got it. Ross has a bit of pressure from Faluna. Actually, we'll watch Faluna, who will watch Ross. So we'll stay on board here with Faluna, get the best of both views. No, Chronotis isn't... I'd be impressed if... Chronotis is a very experienced driver. That would be a very interesting mistake. Yes, we're watching Ross, precisely. Brian Faluna with a really good exit. Is going to have the slipstream as well, that BMW with the overspeed. Will he make a move down the inside? Is Ross going to cover it? Doesn't, leaves the gap open. Side by side we go into Tarzan. Late enough on the brakes is the BMW, sealing that position. Ross falling onto the gravel even. As we switch positions there, now we're watching Faluna watch, or we're watching Ross watch Faluna. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left to go. It's gonna be 2 more laps in total. Into Shivelock we go one more time. Fallon not quite with the pace to keep up with Faluna. Faluna taking that podium position. And with a 1:37.0 last lap too. So Faluna has got his head down and is absolutely rapid. 28 seconds though to catch up to Ali Raza. That's a bit of a stretch in 2 minutes. So I think Faluna will be having to settle for that P3. I don't think he'll be looking forward anymore. We see I'm Not Jimmy pressuring onto Chronotis. Chronotis needs to pit this lap. Like, needs to pit this lap. No, I guess he doesn't. He has one more lap to pit. No, yeah, he does. He has one... No, he has to pit this lap. Yeah, Padberg, 11 seconds to Ali Raza. Not too much of a worry right now. Making through lap traffic easily. Doesn't have a single car in front of him. Till Niall Schlieder, that 37 Porsche. I'm Not Jimmy, though. Pressuring Professor Chronotis. Chronotis better make a pit stop here. I'm going to be very confused if he doesn't. Because he does need to make his pit stop this lap, which will drop him back pretty much to about P17. It'll probably put him in front of Kenneth Smith guaranteed, maybe around Ricardo Rivera. Niall Schlieder has a yellow flag. Looks like just a bit of an off-track excursion. And rounding the final corner, we do see Chronotis come into the pits. Okay, he is not a madman. Well, he is a madman. He's just not that mad of a man. But we are going to see Jacob Padberg here starting his final lap here at Zandvoort. The GT3 doubleheader this week here. We see a little bit side-by-side action behind. I think that's lap traffic. Yeah, last lap. Yeah, I don't know. That's a very interesting strategy. George Elmer, I think, getting overtaken by Provolone there. But I'm not sure. I don't know who had the position, actually. I'm not going to... there's some racing going on. That much I know. Tomzik as well, racing with Rivera. I think Rivera did get that overtake done there. And Professor Chronotis, yeah, is going to come out in front of Kenneth Smith for P17, it looks like. Yellow flag for Eric Gakassian. We got to see it. We got to rub it in. What has happened to Eric? As he's driving in a straight line. And he forgot the middle pedal. He just keeps driving in a straight line. Taking maybe even a faster line. Eric Gagosian lapping at a 139.7. Oh, 144. Okay. Never mind. That did not improve his time whatsoever. Valiant effort, though. TJ Washed here, pressuring onto Dalton Oxborough. Doesn't have too many corners left to do so. Gonna have two more. I think he will have to settle for that P11 here. As we see Jacob Padberg rounding the final corner now. Come across the line for an absolutely commanding drive. Takes that P1 position.
The leader has finished the race.
Wow, passed by third. Wow. And Ollie Raza finishing with all these lapped cars. And actually side by side, I think we see there. I don't know who finished ahead. I think Provolone finished ahead, I think, of the Nissan of George Elmer. Brian Faluna is going to be coming around the final corner now as well for that third position. Closing off the podium slots. Great race from Faluna. And let me think. Where's... Okay, I'm not sure. But Ross Fallon coming down in fourth position. Dan Tesaro crossing the line for a lovely fifth place. Awesome drive from Dan. Tyler Marlowe will be coming home for that sixth position. Spool Lackney for seventh. And so on. These drivers still have a little bit to go. I think I'll just leave Chronotis be. He can explain his own strategy elsewhere. He was going for a last lap safety car, right? Even though, there aren't really safety cars in this game, but that's okay. Lovely overtake at the line to lap Eric Gagosian. And that will be it. That concludes our round two here. Jacob Padberg taking the first place. Ollie Raza second. Brian Faluna in third. First place for the silver plates is Dan Tesaro. Then second is Spool and Washed in third. We will grab some boys. No, don't say that. That sounds weird. We're going to grab some people and start some interviews. So we will grab
Green light, go, go, go.
Brian. Yes, we'll grab Brian. Maybe. No, it won't let me. Because... There. Hey, Brian.
Hello.
Great race. That was a really nice drive at the end.
Well, the first race, because apparently I love stop go 30s, so that's going to be my new livery. And the second race was, I just drove angry for about 40 minutes.
Fair.
So it was all good. I had fun.
And Padberg, someone who drive alone for 45 minutes, basically. Great race. I mean, great drive.
Yeah, thank you.
That was pretty commanding. Ollie Raza, welcome.
It's it was just a matter of staying out of trouble, really, because the track is so tight.
Yeah, and you did a pretty good job of that, I would say.
Yeah, especially when it's raining and you have to know when to stop and get the right pressured tires. And thanks to Raza for helping me do that.
Did you guys start on wet tires in the first race?
Yes.
What about the second race?
Yes.
You did start on wets in the second race. Interesting. Okay.
I did not.
You
I
did
took
not.
a gamble.
Okay.
Yeah,
Brian
I took a
Faluna,
gamble.
that is.
I thought the track I thought it might stop raining within less than 5 minutes, and it would go to damp pretty quick, but the gamble didn't quite pay off, so it is what it is.
Yeah, still got a podium, so not the end of the world.
Yeah, I was tracking down Felon I saw for one point, I think he was like 20 seconds ahead of me, and I think I had like 18 minutes left, and I was like, I don't think this is going to happen, but yeah, just drove angry, just lap after lap. I was like, Lewis, fastest lap after fastest lap
Yeah.
after fastest lap. I just, yeah, it was
Both
the only way to make it.
Both you and Padberg were trading fastest lap for a while.
Yeah, I thought I was doing pretty fast laps, and then it kept on disappearing. I'm like, who the heck is doing it?
Yeah, you two were competing for that basically every lap. But someone else who we're not mentioning, Ollie Raza. Great drive for the second place.
Yeah, thank you. I started in the wet tires, but I want to apologize to Brian because I kind of took you out in second or third lap. I don't know. I think I missed my braking point, but um,
It's just
I'm glad.
just electrons. So
Just
I mean,
electrons.
if it were a real $500,000 GT3 car, I might be mad, but meh.
All right,
But
that's good. But
I got a
glad you got
lead.
the podium still. Yeah.
I think I got some points over Marlowe now, so I think I might have overtaken him.
Yeah.
So
I
I
think
moved
you
up a
might have.
little bit.
Awesome. I didn't
Okay.
actually have that for the points. Oh, come on, Eric.
But yeah, other than that, the race was pretty good.
Okay, Eric,
We
I'm
started
trying to
on
close it.
wets.
Okay. Sorry.
But we also have Spool here. Silver plate, second place, I guess. We'll throw him in. But
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a correct question directed towards me?
yeah.
How was your race?
How was your race? Yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't
It
really
was-
ask you a question. I more implied a question. Fair enough.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a lot of fun. I think I initially it was interesting seeing that mix from rain to dry and kind of maneuver around there. I had a few good overtakes on people that I think were on dry tires, but and then yeah, overall it was fun. Kind of knocked out Snyder a little bit, but hopefully he's not too mad about that. It was all right though. Fun race.
Awesome. Alrighty. And then Eric, I was wondering, would you like to close this down?
Yeah, just hope you guys enjoyed what a crazy couple of races this was. I know some people complain, but I hope for the majority, it's not just a bland dry racing or just wet racing. We try to make things interesting around here and make it like real life. Amsterdam, or I should say, Netherlands could be a pretty wet place, so you never know what you're gonna get. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Mike, thank you again for hosting the stream, and hope you enjoy whoever Mike's gonna send it to.
Yes, indeed. Looking here to maybe send it. Niall Schluter looks like he is going to be ending his stream, I think. So we're going to send it over to Michael Hall, who hopefully isn't ending his stream.
And don't forget
He's not.
to sign up for the spouse swap, aka amateur pro swap race on Thursday. It's gonna be really fun.
That was why I was handing it over to you. But yeah.
Oh yeah, the Pro Am. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really fun.
Awesome.
It has always been fun, so it's another time.
Make sure you guys sign up for that spouse swap next Thursday. Hope everyone has enjoyed the stream. Mixed. See you tomorrow in the Rookie League and everyone else as well. Hope everyone has a great night, and thanks Eric and the drivers for being here. Sending it over to Michael Hall.
Oh.